Alright, welcome back. In this last video of Unit 4, Ideology and Social Policy, let's get right to it. Alright, so one last time we're going to revisit each of our three main ideologies, conservative, liberal, and libertarian. And we're going to again look at this time through the prism of social policy. So a lot of these are things we've talked about already in previous videos, but it can't hurt to hear it again, help you to get ready for that test that's probably like tomorrow morning or maybe in about 5 minutes. So let's start with liberal social policy. Well, we know that liberals typically favor decreased defense spending. We also might realize that liberals are more concerned with the rights of the accused than they are necessarily with crime and punishment. This is not to say that liberals want guilty people to get away with crimes. I don't think anybody really wants that except for guilty people, criminals. But it is to say that they view it as more important to defend things like the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, due process, things like that, than it is to make sure that we punish every single person that might be guilty of a crime. Liberals often believe that the government should not try to regulate personal, private matters. So again, thinking of the civil liberties and civil rights section, we could think about things like same-sex marriage. Similar to that is the idea of favoring a right of privacy and typically being pro-choice. Liberals often favor strongly public education, and as part of that, they often oppose vouchers, especially when these vouchers could be used at religious schools. So they might view this as a violation of church and state, and liberals would favor a strong, strict separation between church and state. And again, the idea here in this context is that liberals typically favor more freedom when it comes to social ways of life. Now, conservatives, on the other hand, they typically favor a more active role by the government in regulating personal conduct. So we already have talked about the fact that they favor increased defense spending, that they are more focused on crime and punishment, law and order. So again, by the way, remember, think of how this in our context of liberty versus stability and order, of how each ideology kind of differs on these regards when it comes to social policy, and how their difference here, it's different than what it is in economic areas, where liberals typically favor more government and conservatives want less government in economic issues. In social issues, it's reversed. It's the opposite. Conservatives often believe that the government should promote and protect traditional values, even if this sometimes might lead to an expansion of government power and might decrease a person's individual freedom and privacy. They're often in favor of pro-life legislation, support vouchers for private education, and have no problem with that being vouchers that would go to private religious schools. So again, less concerned with that separation of church and state. So they would be more in favor of the free exercise clause typically, and probably less of a fan of the establishment clause. And again, in general, just promoting that safety and order, that being the side that they are more concerned with when it comes to social issues. Now, libertarians, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but again, they favor maximum freedom. So, when it comes to defense spending, they would want not just reduced, but minimal, to be dramatically reduced. Libertarians often favor decriminalization of what they would refer to as victimless crimes. So things like drugs or prostitution, things like these, libertarians would often say, let people make their own decisions. So they would want little to no regulation of people's personal, private conduct. On the issue of education, libertarians might actually favor no public education whatsoever and instead a fully private system. And again, this idea of maximum liberty and freedom at the expense of order, not as so worried about that, much more concerned with the rights of the accused, being anti-TSA and that kind of thing, very pro-Fourth Amendment. So this is kind of a basic idea here of libertarians on social issues. Alright guys, so that's really it for not only this video, but for Unit 4. Hope you guys are getting ready for that test. If you are, check out the Unit 4 review video for everything you need for that. Until next time, this has been a Money production. Alright, thanks again for watching this video and all the videos in this unit. So stay with me for Unit 5. I'll see you guys then.